Good evening, everybody. Today is Boxing Day and I hope you really had a lovely time yesterday. Now, you've probably landed yourself a few unwanted gifts and you don't want to offend the givers by telling them you didn't like or need their gifts. So what do you do with them? Is it right to give your unwanted presents to someone else as a gift? We'll be chatting about this today with financial journalist Piper Terrett. And also, with Christmas now gone, how can you keep your family happy and excited about the rest of the holiday period? Thea Jolly of Fireworks Coaching and her son Harvey will be telling us all about it. And as usual, we'll also be joined by Lisa Marie for her fashion tips. So if you want to get in touch at any point during the show, do email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Now, let's just give you some research here. This is research from Gumtree, and they showed that we are sitting on a staggering £2.4 billion worth of unwanted Christmas presents, now each one worth an average of about £48. So they're saying here that the most unpopular gifts are clothing and accessories, beauty products, toiletries, and I always used to get some dodgy like toiletries at Christmas, I remember those, and jewellery. So what on earth should we do with these unwanted gifts? So Piper's going to be telling us about that, aren't you, Piper?
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes.
Happy Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day.
Okay, so people are landed with all these gifts and like, I mean, it's nice that people buy things for us and everything, but what do you do with them? It's so like, oh God, because especially if you're like a person that likes to declutter like I do.
Yeah.
I don't like having sort of clutter mess around me, so I just don't want extra things that I don't need. So what do you suggest?
Well, it's true. I mean, I'm exactly the same. I hate clutter and I'm always going sort of through house and getting rid of things. Well, I mean, you know, it's Boxing Day now, so it might be a little bit too late, but I mean, a good thing to do is always to sort of talk to friends and family and kind of say, well, maybe we should just like, you know, leave it this year.
Well, completely.
Well, you can do.
Oh,
why not?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily close family, but you know, you must have friends who buy you things every year, and you don't always remember that they're going to. I have a friend who does that. She's quite generous, and she'll always spring something on me at the last minute. Oh, she likes to meet up, and then I'll forget that she always buys something. So yeah, sometimes with those kinds of friends, especially, you know, now that times are tight, people don't have much money. It's just a waste of time.
It's probably like a big relief actually to hear that from someone, especially because you kind of feel like you need to buy gifts at Christmas.
Yeah.
And the thought of like not having to buy anything is a pretty good one sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah,
so it does take the pressure off.
It does. It's something less to have to think about. And most of the time, a lot of the time, we're buying each other, like you say at the beginning, things that we don't really need, we don't want, and we're just wasting money. So, yeah, I mean, I have friends. It wasn't Christmas, but I have friends who were both getting married at the similar time, and well, we all know how much that costs. I got married last year, but you know, they actually agreed amongst each other that they wouldn't buy each other wedding gifts.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it sounds really stingy, but
it sounds really stingy.
It's a really good idea.
But they were both going to each other's weddings and obviously spending a lot of money on the food and things as well. So that's one thing that you can do. But now it's Boxing Day, it's probably a bit late for that.
Yeah, a bit late. So obviously you can try and get a refund on gifts, right?
Yes. I mean, I think particularly you say clothing and accessories are you know, major things. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I've done it myself, you know, for family, particularly for my mum. You know, you think, oh yeah, I can't think of anything to get. I know what, I'll buy her an outfit. And then invariably, my mother lives in Ireland, so I'm not there to be able to sort of check a size and things like that. And also, you don't necessarily want to tell them what you're getting. And even if you do get the right size, the sizes vary, don't they, from shop to shop, and maybe someone's eating a little bit too much Christmas pudding or whatever, you know, and the things don't fit, or they just don't like them, or they don't sit properly. So I think, yeah, if you're going to do that, always try and keep the receipt and give it to the person, so that if they don't like it or, you know, it doesn't fit.
What's the worst gift that you've had?
I've had one of the worst gifts. One of the worst gifts was from an ex-boyfriend, and
is that why he's your ex?
No, well, probably that was perhaps a sign of many other flaws in his personality. I don't know. No, I didn't know what they were. I opened this. I think it was for Christmas, and these two rocks, I suppose they were, and they had sort of bits of pink paint in the middle. Oh. And I had to ask them what they were, and they were bookends apparently.
Oh,
so I think it was some sort of crystal or something. I'm not quite sure what, but I kept them for quite a few years, and then I took them and gave them to a charity shop.
Have them anymore. You could have used them in the pot plant or something.
I could have done, but they were a bit hideous, really.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, my one, I have to say, I had two really bad ones.
Really?
One was from my parents, because they never allowed me and my sister to have a TV in our room, because we used to share a room. So I was like really wanted the TV, and I kept going on about it. And one Christmas, they got this like big, massive box. Because you know, TVs back then were quite big and chunky.
Oh yeah.
So a big, massive box, and I was like, and I couldn't wait for Christmas Day to open this box to see my TV. So I was all excited, me and my sister, so we took off the paper and we're like, finally getting a TV for our room. Do you know what it was? It was a whole set of encyclopedia. And I was like, because my dad was really into studying, and like we had to study and we had to get good grades and everything. I was so upset, but really, really upset. And I was like, oh my God, I was looking for these things. I'm not going to read these. And actually, they stayed there for years, even while we were through uni. We didn't even use them hardly.
No, but they were kind of television shaped, so you still thought it was a TV.
So cool. I mean, I'm sure they did it on purpose. Yeah, it was really heavy as well, obviously. And this other thing that my auntie got me, it was horrible. It was like an item of jewellery, and I couldn't actually work out what it was. It just looked kind of like a bell with stuff on it. And it was horrible. It was so old-fashioned, and in the end, I sold it. I got quite good money for it because it was really heavy. Well, those are my two worst gifts.
Oh dear.
Yeah, not very good.
No. Well, my mum's always said that the first thing my dad ever bought her was a manicure set, which I don't really see what the problem is, but apparently, you know, she was offended because it said, well, my son must have really horrible nails then. Yeah. That's what you're trying to say. So
you could get offended.
You could get offended, yeah.
So obviously you can sell your stuff on eBay.
You can, you know, I mean, it's so easy now. I mean, obviously in the old days, you'd have to go to, I don't know, you know, a second-hand shop or a boot sale, but you don't have to go out there and, you know, brave the bad weather. You can go on eBay, Amazon. I mean, Amazon books are really easy to sell on there. There's all sorts of different websites out there. You just go and have a look. And the thing is as well, you know, if you're worried that your relatives might find out, you can register on there with a funny nickname or something, and they're not going to know that it's you. Because this is always, you know, you don't want to offend people. I mean, we've kept, you know, sometimes like relatives maybe give you some hideous painting or sort of print of something.
Yeah, what do you do when you have to kind of, they expect it to be up on your wall? What do you do?
Hide, you know, we always used to my mum always used to hide things in the cupboard and then bring them out, you know. But I think now she you know, I think, you know, you have to be sort of brave and just go, no, you know, this is, especially things like that, because I think, you know,
it's personal, isn't it?
It's such a personal thing, you know, your decor in your home and things like that. So no, I don't see why you have to have these things out. But yeah, you can sell things on eBay. I mean, you know, you can, if you think no one will buy them, or you want to be, you know, it's Christmas.
That bad.
It's that bad. We think no one's going to want to, or you don't want the hassle or whatever. You know, there's plenty of people out there who are bound to want your, you know, as people did want your hideous piece of jewellery, as you said. So something else could be, if you're feeling charitable, you know, you could donate it to a charity shop. Or there's websites where you can, I think there's websites where you can swap presents online as well.
That's a good idea.
That's something else. I think particularly things like beauty products and things.
What about the regifting issue? Because that's quite controversial, isn't it? Because imagine well, you do tell us about regifting.
Well, regifting is, I mean, I love the phrase regifting. It's like, it's really sort of PC language, isn't it? A euphemism. Well, regifting is when someone gives you something and you think, oh my God, I hate this, or I've already got 10 of these. And then what you do is you maybe change the wrapping paper if you're sensible, wrap it up and you give it to somebody else. And obviously it's quite controversial because people think it's a disrespectful thing to do. People think it's mean because you've not gone out and bought and spent money and bought that thing. You know, you just give it to somebody. But perfectly honest with you, I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's really a green thing to do. You know, we're recycling, we're using something else again. And as long as you, keep a list of, if you've got lots of these things, keep a list of who gave it to you in the first place, so you don't commit the cardinal sin of giving it back to that person, which my grandmother did once.
Oh no!
My dad brought her something, and I think it was my dad, and then she gave it back to him the following year. Yeah, she hadn't realised.
Oh, how embarrassing!
I don't think he said anything.
Oh,
she was quite old by that point.
But the thing is, the only issue I have with that is, like, what if the person you actually give it to, the second person you give it to now, asks you for a receipt because they want to exchange it, and you don't have one because it was given to you by...
Yeah, that's the tricky thing. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, so
now,
maybe
I have
not.
to admit, I have regifted, but I haven't. I've actually told the person, look, I got this from. I didn't wrap it up or anything, but I put it in a nice bag and I said, look, someone gave me this, but it's not my size. I don't really like it. Would you like it? So I always admit that it's not something that I've bought myself, but I am giving it to someone. So.
Well, I think that's a good one. And then you're being open. You don't have to feel bad about it. You know, you don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to worry about they're going to say to you, "Where's the receipt?" And you're being open. I mean, I've done that. You know, my mum bought me a lovely one. Those gypsy tops were fashionable. She bought me one of those for my birthday, and it just really didn't suit me because I'm quite short-waisted, and it just made me look quite big. So I gave it to my neighbour, and she's, you know, sort of taller, and it just suited her. But I told my mum that's what I was going to do, and obviously explained it to her, and it was fine. So yeah, you've just got to do it. I mean, I did re-gift a scarf to a friend, and I have to admit, there was no way that she should have been able to tell, but I did sit there sort of quaking with fear while she was like feeling wrapped her, thinking, I hope she can't tell. Surely there's no way she can tell. And she was kind of going, yeah. I was thinking, oh no, maybe she can tell. But no,
well, she knows now if she's watching,
fine.
right?
I know she probably does, yeah. Never mind.
So any other tips that you have for us about unwanted gifts? Unwanted gifts.
Yeah, well, I think as well, sort of planning for next year, obviously, you know, we've opened most of our presents now. I think it's a good idea in sort of advance of Christmas or birthdays and things like that, when you've got relatives and they're saying, no, I want to get something for you, tell them what you want. I mean, my father does this every year. My father's quite greedy and he loves his toys and things. He's got all these things that he likes. Yeah. But it's quite useful because he'll email me a list of different ideas. I don't have to get all of them. And he'll say, I'd like this or that. And he tells me where to get them from. And it just makes life easier because then I know I'm not going to buy him something that he hates and I'm waste the money.
You could actually do something like that online, couldn't you? You can post it on your Facebook page and just say, these are the kind of things, or have a little section somewhere. If you've got a website and these are like they do with on eBay and Amazon and stuff, they have like a wish list. Yeah, like a wish list, So you can do that with anything, really.
You could, yeah. It's much easier.
Okay, well, I hope we've helped our viewers. I hope so. You haven't got too many unwanted gifts piled up at home, but if you do, you can sell them, you can give them to charity, you can regift if you're brave enough and you're clever enough. What else were the other things I said? You can swap it, online, you can swap it. So there's quite a few options. So just don't sit on it because otherwise you're going to end up with loads and loads of clutter at home. So thank you so much, Piper, for the advice. Okay, and if you have your own advice as well, maybe you've received a gift and you have an idea of what to do with it, unwanted gifts, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Well, after the break, we'll have Thea and Harvey Jolly joining us to speak about how to make the rest of the holidays fun and how to bring the family closer together. So join us after this. Welcome back to our Boxing Day special show, and now we have Thea and Harvey with us who's going to be telling us what to do for the rest of these holidays. Aren't you, Harvey and Thea? How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So Harvey, you're how old?
10.
You're 10 years old, okay. And Thea, you've been on you were on quite recently on the show as well, talking about perfectionism, but now we're going to be talking about something different. Right. So tell us briefly what you do for those that missed the last show that you were on.
I'm a happiness coach and I mainly work with mums and help them be a calmer mum and also to kind of create a happier family life at home.
Right, okay. So you've got some, you're both going to tell us about some of the stuff that you guys like to do as a family. Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yep.
Yeah? Do you have an older brother, older sister?
They're both younger than me. We've got Jasmine, who's 8, and my little brother Zach, who's 5.
Okay, so you do a lot of family stuff together then?
Yeah.
All right, what's your favourite? We're going to get to you, Thea, so
that's fine.
A little chat with Harvey. What kind of stuff do you love doing with your family?
Well, I like cooking with Mum and Dad, and I also like going on bike rides and walks and playing sport as well.
What do you like cooking?
Well, my favourite thing to cook with Mum and Dad is toad in the hole.
I don't know how to make that. Maybe you have to teach me one day. Okay, so it's nice. Is that you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you guys? I can't see
them.
Oh, okay, nice.
Cooking.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so Thea, obviously you've got the family together and you're obviously doing quite a few activities and stuff. So tell us about how you organise all of that and how you make time for that and, some of the regular stuff that you do and advice that you can give to our viewers as well.
Okay. Well, it is quite difficult to organise kind of those kind of things separate from all the day-to-day stuff. But in the holidays, obviously, now that the Christmas craziness has kind of gone, there's more time really to do those family bonding things. And I would say that one of the big things, especially with the children, my children, their ages, is to get the kids involved in deciding what to do. Yeah. So, you know, we quite often have family meetings, so we sit down and go, right, okay, what do we want to do? And we come up with some suggestions. Not all of them are possible, because they might come up with some wacky ideas, or
let's go mountain climbing or something.
Or let's go to Florida. Or and it's like, maybe not today. So get them involved. So they might, you know, Chris and I, my husband Chris, might say, oh, let's plan a day out, and they'll go, actually, we just want to go swimming today, or we just want a movie. We want to go sit down and have a family movie. So it's quite important that you're not dragging the kids out on this big day out when actually they just want to have a chill out day. But we do quite often have days out, don't we? We go to Chessington, or we go up to the London Eye, things like that, so kind of for bigger days out.
What kind of stuff can maybe families do that are on a bit of a tight budget? Because obviously Christmas is now over, it's like a lot of people don't have any money left.
Exactly.
Or very little, they're in debt maybe. So, but obviously you want to still keep the family, you know, entertained and occupied over the Christmas period. What kind of cheapies?
I'd say if the weather's good, I'd get outside, really. Even when it's cold, if it's kind of blue sky,
I love going out.
You know, I mean, it's amazing. Even if it's just like an hour.
You're an outdoor person, I know.
Yeah. Even if it's only like an hour's walk outside, and then you come back, maybe you put casserole in the oven, and then come back, and then you've got a nice dinner cooked, and it just feels.
Did you say put what on?
A casserole in the oven.
A cat in the oven. What? Cat in the oven.
My husband does that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, my husband likes making casseroles, and then so we could stick that in the oven, and then go for a walk, and then come back and do that. Or in the summer you can go for picnics and things, but you can't really do that so much in the winter.
Although my sister does that.
Really?
She will go out on a cold freezing day with a big umbrella. Really? And she does a flask of soup, and she still has fun.
Yeah, exactly. That. I mean, I suppose you just have to be organised, and the kids actually like that. Really, they love that kind of thing. Really. And I'm trying to think of other things we can do in the winter.
Harvey, when
parks,
you play,
parks. They love the parks.
Yeah. Do you do board games and stuff? Do you play games?
Yeah.
Who normally wins?
Well, Dad.
Do you guys argue when you play board games?
No, not really.
that's the first.
I think they do, but
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I know you guys have a favourite Friday night pastime, don't you? What's that?
Well, we have what we call a celebration. It all started a few years ago when my husband got a new job. And so when he came home on the Friday, we got some crisps and we all had a drink and we had a celebration. And we tend to do that. We now do it every Friday, mainly.
Lovely.
So and we just sit round.
So what do you celebrate every week?
Well, just because it's just been given that name because it started off as a celebration, and then we just call it that because, and we just talk about our week. We take it in turns, and they say. What they've enjoyed about their week, or what they're proud of, or what they're looking forward to. Or sometimes, though, obviously on a Friday night, it can if they're tired or something, or we sometimes just play a game of cards or something instead. Yeah. You know, it varies, but you know, it's just getting together on a Friday and just having a bit of a relax. It's a weekend, and sometimes we plan the next day, don't we, and what we're going to do. Yeah.
What about chores? Do you make that fun? Or maybe you don't want to say this in front of I mean, tricking in with games and really it's chores.
No, I must admit, I'm probably not great at making chores fun. Sometimes we'll have a tidy up half an hour, we put some music on, wouldn't we? And do that.
But you know what, I think the fact that you're doing the other things together as a family, I think that it doesn't make the chores so bad because you've always got something to look forward to. Because in some families, I'm sorry to say this, but some parents, they really like all about chores and they they hardly do anything with their kids. So the kids obviously feel upset to do chores because they don't have any fun hardly, or there's no time for fun.
Exactly.
But obviously everyone's busy about this. I mean, I think it's great that you guys are making so much time for each other. It's lovely.
We try to. Some of this kind of more not necessarily everyday chores, or maybe things like washing the car, or doing something in the garden. Those kind of chores you can make more fun because they're not the normal boring chores that, you know, like tidying their room. You know, hate tidying their rooms, but they might want to go out with some water and some cloths and get wet and clean the car.
I used to clean the car with my
Yeah,
sister.
so you can make that quite good fun.
Water fight.
Yeah, and maybe have a treat halfway through, like chocolate biscuits or something, or hot chocolate or something if it's cold.
I think when I was a child, well, I shouldn't really say this actually, my dad used to take us shooting with him. He used to go out in the, sorry, I shouldn't say this, should I? He used to go out in the countryside and like play with the rabbits and stuff. Oops. But then we used to always like have a barbecue and stuff afterwards. So it was family time. It was like a hobby that my dad had, obviously, and like that's awesome food. And then like we'd sit together and have a barbecue afterwards. So it was really, really nice. So I always cherish those moments. And actually, it's going to be something that you're going to remember for years to come. Probably do the same with your kids as well one day. Yeah. So tell us about some of the other things that families can do to stay close and to stay bonded.
Well, I think the things that we've been talking about are more kind of things to do at this time when the kids are on holiday or at weekends. But things that you probably want to do throughout the year to make sure that time that you're spending in the holidays and weekends runs a bit smoother, or everyone's a bit calmer and more harmonious. I mean, obviously, it's never going to be perfect, and there's always going to be arguments.
You will try, won't you?
Yeah, I will try. I do try, but I try to let it go as well. I've got to remember that it isn't going to be perfect. There are going to be arguments. One child is going to get upset about something, or they're going to complain about things, or me and my husband, we can have strops as well. We can get a bit grumpy. So I think keep in mind that it isn't going to be ideal, but we have things like family meetings. Maybe not every week, do we? But we try and have those so that we can talk about things in the family. Yeah. And listening to your children and communicating with them and teaching them how to deal with their emotions. So we've been doing gratitude things in the car, haven't we, these last few weeks? Maybe you can explain about that.
Tell us about that whole thing.
Yeah, well, me, Zach and Jez, we used to fight over who sat in the front on the way to school. So we decided that each week will be one person's week.
Oh, that's nice.
And now, over the we started
a month ago maybe?
Yeah, a month ago, we started this thing where the person sitting in the front said something like 3 things we love about the world or something, 3 things we love about Dad or something. And then...
Or something we're looking forward to today.
Something we're looking forward to.
How does that make you feel, Harvey, when you do stuff like that?
Well, it cheers everybody up. Yeah. Makes everybody feel grateful and happy.
Doesn't it? Because we tend to moan a lot of it, don't we? Yeah. Moan about the weather and moan about this and Mum didn't do that and whatnot. But there's so many things to be happy about. Oh, I think that's lovely. Yeah. Oh,
and it works. It works for me as well, because I can be grumpy in the school run.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, we've got to do the gratitude thing again. And then we start it, and then by the end we're all like, oh, that's really nice, and it makes you kind of refocus, doesn't it?
Now, who's going to tell me about this thing with the balloons then?
The balloons. Oh, is that for birthdays?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only done that in the last year or so, because I think
I've got a few of your things down here as well.
Yeah, I think it's. I heard a friend of mine say that they always did that when it's somebody's birthday. So we put balloons up outside the door, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And whoever's birthday it is chooses the menu, and we always open presents on mine and Dad's bed, don't we? And so it's kind of like we've got the traditions that you do, and that really brings a family together, I think.
How do you manage having like 3 kids? Because it must be quite difficult for that one-to-one time with each child. Or do you just do things all of you together, or do you make time for each individual child?
Yeah, we do. We have realised recently, the last year or two, that it is really important to have one-to-one time with the children, because when there's 3 of them all vying for attention, sometimes it works wonderfully, but quite often it's a bit crazy. So this last year we have we've done this thing where we have a weekend. One adult, one of us has a weekend with the one child. So so basically, there's been 6 weekends. So so we went up to London and we went to stay with Chris's sister. So we just went up, just Harvey and I. And so we had a really good day. Went to the Natural History Museum, and then we went to Michelle and Doug's house. And so basically we had that one-to-one time. It's just like going out and, you know, just because the dynamic changes so much when there's only one and one. And even the people staying behind, one parent with 2 children is a big. It's still a huge difference to what it normally is, and those things are really valuable, really. And you can try and squeeze them in. Say, like, you know, if we need to go to the supermarket, just take one kid with you, you know, and then, or if you're doing a job in the garden, you'd use one, or you know, you can fit it in, and I think it's really, really important so that the children really get that quality time.
What about families that, you know, because maybe there are families watching now, they're saying this sounds so lovely, it sounds ideal, but I haven't sort of had that closeness with my family, or we've been kind of separated, but now I'd like to bond with my family. What do you think, what kind of stuff could they do, or what do you suggest that can really bring a family together if they haven't had that sort of time together recently?
I think kind of start with little things and not expect too much. Really, I think as mums, we tend to put so much pressure on ourselves to make it all perfect and smooth and everything's going to go well. Expect it to go up and down, but just maybe, you know, just say, right, tonight we're just going to have a movie, we're going to sit together, cuddle on the sofa, have a movie, maybe make some popcorn or get some sweets or something like that. So just small little things, and then, you know, let's go to the park and get involved with them, and, you know, because I think it's very tempting to kind of go to the park, get your kids to go off, and then you sit there and play on your phone, or, you know, they watch a movie and you're cooking dinner in the other room. Kind of make time to have that, you know, to actually be with them, you know, read books, that kind of thing. But it's not going to be perfect. It's not, you know, and sometimes I plan things, you know, I pick them up from school and everyone's in a bad mood, and then it all goes wrong, and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that then. So you know, so it's
that's
difficult.
nice that you shared that.
Yeah,
because,
I mean, honestly, but half the time,
human. She is. There you go.
Half the time, most of the time, it goes wrong. There's many times when I think, oh, we'll do this.
But it doesn't stop you from trying, which is really great, because obviously, you know, you've obviously got a great family, so that's really, really good.
Yeah,
I'm really happy.
We're not always happy, are we? We can have our shout. You know, we can all shout and argue and. The thing is that we keep trying, we keep kind of learning, and, you know, we keep saying that, you know, it's okay to make mistakes. You know,
definitely.
You just got to keep
Guys,
going.
thank you so much. You've given some great advice. Harvey, you did great. Give me 5.
Great. Thanks
Okay,
for having us.
lovely having you both on.
Thank you.
So, all right, so after the break, we're also going to have our fashionista, Lisa Marie, who's going to be telling us about some fashion for this festive period. So join us after this break. Welcome back, and now we're going to be speaking about sensible sales shopping with Lisa Marie.
Hi, happy Boxing Day.
You're right.
I'm good, thank you.
So, how can we shop I mean, can you really shop sensibly in the sales?
You can, but it can be difficult. See, now, I mean, I found a great quote from Marc Jacobs, and he says, "Fashion isn't a necessity. It pulls at your heart. It's a whim. You don't need it. You want it." And that's so true.
Yeah.
But hey, we need it, so it's still necessary. But
no, we want it, we don't need it.
No.
Come on, all right.
We'll tweak it.
Okay.
But a lot of people, the minute that they see like 50% off, everyone goes, oh my gosh, I need it. And it's like, do you actually need it? Or do you just want it because it's speaking to you, as in because it's like, it's red, it's saying it's like 50% off, it was £50 and now it's 25. Did you really like it at £50? Did you really want it at £50? So it's just a few things for people to kind of keep in mind, because obviously Boxing Day and the days after, that's when people now, it's the shopping time of the year. So it's the time when everyone thinks, right, I'm going to work off my turkey around the shops and go out there and go and buy stuff. But it's about doing it properly so that you don't get stuck with it. Because, I mean, like you were talking about earlier in the programme, unwanted gifts and stuff like that. Why are you going to add to that clutter that you were talking about before by just buying something because it's half off or 60% off? Do you need it? So there's a few things for people to keep in mind before they go out and hit the shops. So I've got, I think it's like 7 tips for everybody.
Okay, cool.
So if we start with the first one, it should be up on the screen. Before you start, look in your wardrobe and make a list.
Oh, Lisa, who does that?
It's about, rather than, for example, if you go shopping and you're thinking, I want jeans, for example.
Yeah.
How many jeans do you actually have? Do you have the, so for example, if you're a person that you've got a pair of black jeans, skinny jeans, you've got a pair of dark denim skinny jeans. So maybe because normally I usually have like about 2 black pairs and maybe like about 2 dark and then a light coloured one. So what's the one that you need more than anything? Is it that you want a light coloured pair? Do you need a grey pair? Do you want a coloured pair to add to your wardrobe? But again, are you going to wear that coloured pair?
So you kind of go out already knowing what you want then?
Yeah, so if you're already thinking about it, so if you go into the shop, because I know, for example, like Dorothy Perkins, for example, they will, all of their fashion jeans, they're the ones that will normally go onto sale. So it's the basic ones that are usually the black, the greys, they're usually more often than not full price, but it'll be those coloured ones. But the thing is, are you really going to wear a pair of pink skinny jeans? Have you worn them before? Just because they're now £10 instead of 20, are you going to wear them, or is it going to add to the clutter? Whereas if you've already got a black pair and a grey pair, maybe a light denim pair, you're going to wear that in the coming months.
Yeah.
So, you can get the others if you need it. I mean, I like to have a couple myself put down, but think about it. Same with like pencil skirts. Oh, sorry, a skirt. Have a think about what you've got in your wardrobe. Do you have a pencil skirt? That's a great addition. So even if it is still a little bit on trend, think about how you can actually make that work in your wardrobe, rather than buying that style that you've never tried before. Again, a lot of the things they're going to put in there are going to be Christmas stuff. So have you ever really worn a gold sequin skirt? Are you likely to wear it?
Those are only for Christmas, aren't they?
And again, sometimes there are certain things, like when I did the show about using things in your own wardrobe, and I bought the dress and I bought those like different blazers and things to make it different. Again, I said some of those things I bought years ago, but they come back into fashion. So think sensibly. I know it's hard, especially when it's like all the red and the white and it's like buy me, but think about it. Next tip would be, if it's on there, yes, you may want it, just like I was saying, but will you wear it? Just like I was saying, because again, people, when I go out there, because I do like to go on either Boxing Day or going for a couple of days after, I like to go to like Lakeside. I prefer that because everyone else goes to Westfield, so it's much easier.
Don't tell everyone. Everyone's going to be going to Lakeside.
It's all right,
now.
no, go to Westfield. So it's like, I think in my mind, I know the shops that I like to go to, and especially on Boxing Days or big sale days, they close fitting rooms, all these kind of things. So clothes that you don't wear, like, say you're a newbie to Zara, for example, some of their things come up a bit tighter than others.
Yeah,
they're cut a bit smaller. And sometimes because they go with like a small, a medium or a large rather than a 12, 14 or a 16. So think about it. If you can see that actually it's not going to be for you, it even looks small as you've got it on, don't bother picking it up. There's no point, because a lot of these things as well, you're not going to find again. So think about it. You want it. Are you actually going to wear it? I've done that before. Bought it and it just sits
I think
there.
we all have. I've bought some ridiculous things that didn't even suit me, but just because they were in the sale. But I learned kind of.
And that's it, and then you end up with things that have still got the tags on that you've never worn. You can't even think how to wear it. You've got nothing in your wardrobe that goes with it. It's not worth it. Seriously, put it down.
Or you can, if you do buy it, you can regift it, maybe. Right, we won't go there.
Be careful with regifting. Okay, next one. Tip number 3 is relish the discount, but never overlook the price, because anything north of a 40% discount, usually people think, oh my gosh, that's what they see. It was £50. Now it's like 15. Oh my gosh, I need it. But like I said before, if it was still full price, would you still buy it? Now I know there's so many things. I wait for it to go on sale and you know that it's going to. So it could be, that fabulous coat that you've seen and it was £60. Come the sale, they're going to knock it down so much because they know it's dead stock, and they're already starting to think about the spring summer things that they need to start bringing in. I know that it's just Christmas and I know it's early, but trust me, the shops are already thinking about it. So invest in pieces like that, because that as a sale discount off. You know that come January, February, it's still going to be cold. Hey, we live in the UK. So it's going to be cold. Let's invest in those things you know you're going to actually use. Boots, coats, jeans, jumpers, things like that you're still going to use. So when they're like 40% off, go for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, think, would I like it, as I said before, when it was full price? So our next,
very good point.
number 4 is don't be distracted. And this is the hardest thing, because I know like when I was in Lakeside last year, it's like I quite like River Island, and I like to go in especially at the sale time because they do some really, really good discounts, and the queue for it can be absolutely crazy. But because you can see all these things, and they put like they put extra tags on their clothes so that everyone can see and highlight the sale price and all of that. Don't be distracted by it. Do you actually want it? Are you going to wear it? And don't be distracted, because another thing that people tend to do is when they see other people going to one place, everyone starts thinking, oh my gosh, what's there? There's a queue there. I want that, I need that. And actually, you would never have bothered to buy that before, but just because you see everyone else is like throwing it this way, throwing it that way, and you're thinking that I actually want it. Do you really? Or were you just distracted because other people, the kind of hype and the
Sounds
hysteria.
ridiculous, doesn't it, where people end up behaving?
It does, but you see it, because I mean, I used to work in retail, so this is an example. So I was actually a manager when Primark Oxford Street opened for the first time in Marble Arch, and that was absolutely manic. I actually saw people punching somebody else for a coat, because there was a coat that Primark had at the time that everyone wanted. And I remember helping to like restock, because again, it was just a crazy day. So if you were a manager, you remember stuff, you helped everywhere. So I had like armfuls of this coat from the stockroom, and I literally had to shout at people, leave me alone, because they were tearing it out of my hand. So people, and the thing is, most of those people, they might have worn it for 2 seconds and then decided, actually, I didn't really want it, because they just got distracted by all the hysteria surrounding it. So again, a tip, when you're going out there for the sale shopping, think about what you actually want. Don't be distracted because someone else likes it.
These are excellent tips.
Seriously.
Really good.
Our next one is to shop around. Now, this is fabulous that we are in the era of the smartphone, because wherever you are, you can log on there and actually see, was it worth it? Or can I buy it online or in another shop for cheaper? This obviously applies a lot more to electrical goods, things like that, because
although people do panic, don't they? They think they just have to go out and get something before it goes.
This is the thing. And I remember that even just before I went on holiday, I had lost my my camera charger. So I went to Tottenham Court Road, because they have a lot of electrical shops down there. And I remember I went in one shop, and the person told me the camera charger was going to be £25. And I was thinking, I checked on my phone, and I was like, I even showed him, look, this is the price I'm getting online. Obviously, because I was flying out tomorrow, it was too late for me to do anything. So I said, fine, no, I don't want it. I went in another shop down the road. They gave it to me for 15. Right. So it's always worth and that was just a minor thing, like a charger. Imagine what it is if you want the next Mac Mini, or you want something. Different places will do different things. So don't just be sucked in by the first offer. Go out there, check it out, because quite often online shopping can be just as lucrative as sale shopping in the stores. So shop around and always check it. And yeah, because everyone's got a smartphone these days, haven't you? Yeah. And everyone, and even if you think, oh, I don't have enough like Wi-Fi minutes or gigabytes or whatever, most places have a free Wi-Fi.
Just stand outside.
Just go Starbucks. Find Starbucks. Just go stand outside there. It's perfect. It's fine. Our next tip,
hide in the toilets,
is don't be rushed. Again, people get into it, oh my gosh, I've got to have it now, and they walk around, they've got all these things in their arms, and they're just grabbing it. Then by the time you get to the till, it's a massive amount of money. And then when you get home, you think, I'm not going to wear that. Why did I even buy it? Why did I get sucked in? Or I don't need it because I've already got 5 other things that are similar. So don't be rushed into it. Chill, have a look. And again, shop around. It goes back to what I was saying before, because again, you snap it up, and quite a lot of places, they do like no refunds. It might be they might offer an exchange on some things that are in the sale. So then you're tied to that shop for that thing, whereas another shop might have it for cheaper. So don't be rushed. Go back to the other tip, shop around and make sure it's something that you actually really, really want and need. And number 7, and this is one of the most important and sometimes one of the hardest things to stick to, stay within your budget, because desire, even as
But
was
most
said,
people will go out without a budget. That's the problem. So they need to
That's
set
the
one before they
problem.
go out.
Because what's the point in, again, having all of this and you have no food? You can't actually eat. It's not worth getting into debt over. And this is what I try to do, is that I will try and give myself a budget, something to stick to, so that I know, and it makes me question myself, like I said, that if I'm going, do I actually need it? Because if I've got, as I said, 2 pairs of black skinny jeans at home, this one may be 60% off, but do I really need another one? So
Exactly.
stick to these tips, have a look, and you will have a really, really good sale shopping.
Thank you so much, Lisa Marie.
problem.
Well, I hope those tips helped you. It certainly helped me. They certainly helped me, I should say, because there were 7 of them. So do have a lovely time in Boxing Day today, and it's almost over. And like tomorrow when you go shopping and the January sales and all that stuff, do have a lovely time, but do be wise and stick to your budget and all the other lovely points that she said. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, so that's it for the Chrissy B Show for today, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now.